In your 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, you deserve to live your best life. Say goodbye to preconceived notions and let's shatter those stereotypes together. Get ready to own your vitality, because age, well, that's just a number.
Hey everybody, it's BJ.
And Ruth.
And we're back with health and fitness. That age is just a number. I just want to encourage you, if you haven't, please take a minute and subscribe to the channel and give us a like. We are putting out regular content, and so you want to make sure that you don't miss anything. So subscribing, make sure that happens. I've got different co-hosts coming on with me in the future. I've got some great interviews that we're going to do, and a whole bunch of fun lifestyle stuff as well. So you don't want to miss any of that. So take a minute and do that. That helps us out and just helps us with getting the word out. And today we're talking about creatine. Mm-hmm. We've talked about creatine quite a bit.
We have talked about it before,
right?
Yeah.
We've talked about the benefits of it, the value of it, and all those things. Today we're talking about mistakes.
Right.
Or mistakes to avoid with creatine, because you want to get the most out of creatine supplementation.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to look at 7 things that you need to avoid to get the most out of your creatine supplementation and to get the most out of your muscle building and your muscle endurance improving and all of those things. So I want to start by saying, again, we are not doctors. If you are starting working out in your 40s and 50s, is probably, or whatever age, but it's a good idea for you to have a chat with your doctor about what
you're at,
what your health is, and just have a baseline
risks for you.
And you can talk to them about creatine at that point if you want. But what we can tell you is creatine is the #1 studied supplement that's out there right now, and it is safe for general use.
Yeah.
Okay. Like we said, we've talked about it before, so you can go back and find those. We're not going to address all that stuff.
What it is and why to use it.
I'll put the link right in here, and you can go back to those. All right. So mistakes when it comes to creatine. #1 mistake is hydration.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So first of all, let's just start with, we should be consuming 8 to 12 8-ounce glasses of water a day baseline.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely.
And what happens is when you start working out, you're going to sweat. So you still need to replace that water in addition to the 8 to 12 glasses of water that you're consuming.
Yeah.
And then now you're taking creatine. Part of what creatine does is it brings water into the muscles. So if you're not properly hydrated, creatine is not going to give the optimal effect of getting the muscles full of water.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So that one's a real easy one, but it's an easy one to miss, because the other part of it is if you drink coffee, so see here's my coffee today, this is a diuretic. So that I'm consuming this, I need to keep in mind I need to drink more water to replace.
And you would actually need 2 glasses of water to replace that cup of coffee, whereas I'm drinking ginger tea, and so it's a herbal tea, so my 1 cup is water going in, it's not water coming out.
Right. Okay, so that's #1. #2 is dose. So there's the whole thing about loading creatine. Yeah. So here's the thing. So do you need to load creatine? That's 20 grams for 5 days. Do you need to load creatine? I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no.
No.
I'm going to say no.
So
just take it on a regular, consistent basis.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Now, there may be some value in loading if you need a quicker turnaround.
Right.
Right? You're going to something, and really, if this is the case, sure, try creatine, but I think there are better ways to do this. But you're going to something at the end of the month and you want to look good.
Right.
And so what do? Well, maybe I can load creatine for the next 5 days and then really hit it hard in the gym with the regular dosage after. Okay. But in general...
In general, why don't you just look good all the time and then you don't have to do that to yourself?
Sure, yeah. So in general, the dose is 3 to 5 grams of creatine per day.
Right.
Okay? So kind of rule of thumb, standard is the 5 grams a day. So what you want to make sure is you're consistently doing it, and then your body, it'll absorb into your muscles and your creatine levels will go up. And then you can keep doing it. Again, like I said, if the doctor's giving you different instructions, that's a different thing entirely.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, you can just keep doing it and keep the process moving forward. Okay, number 3 is time of day that you consume creatine. Now this is a really good one because some people think, oh, I need to take it right after I train. I need to take it before I train. I'm going to tell you, you do not.
No.
Because creatine is about a cumulative effect. And so what is important here is consistent intake, right? So if we just stop taking creatine for a week, we're going to, our bodies are going to deplete that extra creatine, and then we're going to have to build it back up again.
Yeah.
That's more, so the consistency is more important than, like some people are like, well, I worked out, so I need to take the creatine right after the workout.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Right.
I find for me personally, what I do is I put it in my drink, my workout drink. So it would be water and other amino acids. But I start drinking it before I work out, while I work out, and after. But only for the purpose of, so I don't forget. Because if I was to do it, later in the day or at night or first thing in the morning, it might be something that I forget to do. I forget to put it into my water. So when that one drink is always the one that I have loaded with other amino acids. So it's like, it's just a no-brainer. That's,
And in the same way, I take my creatine in the morning with my protein shake, one of my protein shakes, same reason, so I don't forget.
You don't forget,
So it's all about consistency when it comes to creatine. So there's not, you don't have to have it at a certain time as long as you're having it every day.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So number 4, and this is a good one, is expecting instant results.
Lower the expectations.
Yeah. So creatine is not some panacea that you're going to take and now just tomorrow you're going to lose 5% body fat and gain 5% or 5 pounds of muscle and look amazing.
So many people set themselves up for failure because they have unrealistic expectations.
Yeah. So what is creatine going to do? It's going to help you with intense workouts. It's going to help you with muscle endurance. We've talked about how the latest research shows its effects for mental health and all of these different things. But again, it's about consistency and time. We're talking about going to the gym as a lifestyle, not as a one-time event.
Yeah.
Right? So you're going to make gains, but you're going to make gains as you're consistent. And regardless of your age, I think that's a big thing too, right? That we need to understand you're not too old to start.
Never.
Right?
Never. The thing is just start and keep going.
Yeah. and have those realistic expectations that it's not an overnight bang.
No.
It's going to be time and time and time. And as you put in that time, somebody came to train with me over the summer for 1 month, and I invited him to come. I said, look, I'm training a little bit later. Come, I'll put you, through your paces, and you'll get into a schedule and you work out your training program, and then you can jump from there to what you want to do. But it took him almost a month. He started seeing some gains in the first 2 or 3 weeks in terms of getting a little stronger and that kind of thing. But it took him almost a month, and then he said to me, hey, I lost 8 pounds this month, and I've gotten stronger and all of these things. But he's in it for the long haul. He wasn't looking for that after week 1 or week 2 or week 3.
Yeah.
And he's not looking at month 1. He's looking at month 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 down the road, because he wants this to be a healthy health and fitness lifestyle. So I think that's the big one that we're always talking about. Okay. All right. Number 5, training. So you might say, what does that mean when it comes to training and creatine? Well, the 2 biggest things that will limit creatine's effectiveness is lack of consistency in the gym and lack of intensity in the gym. Mm-hmm. So, we all know, we've seen people that sometimes they're working out and, good for them that they're there, but they're almost not there.
They're almost not there. They're on their phone, or they're talking to everybody, or they're kind of sort of picking up the lightest weights that they can find. And
sure.
Yeah.
And we've talked a lot about form and program structure and those kind of things, and using appropriate weights. So we're not going to readdress those things, but just to say, when you go to the gym, go to work out, and go to put your muscles through some strain,
Some stress, yeah.
so that they have to recover.
Yeah.
That's basically what a workout is all about.
Yeah.
Okay. And the consistency part, same thing. If you're starting out and you say, well, look, I can commit to once or twice a week, great. Start there, but have a goal to increase, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't just say, well, once a week, so I'm good.
No, and
Right.
and that being said, don't just show up for 60 minutes and kind of just, you've got your workout gear, new clothes, and your hair's done, and all you want to do is let everyone see you. Okay, would you go and work out?
Yeah. So
That's more of the female perspective, but you'll always see the people, I've always seen the people that go in and day out, and they never change because they're not putting through the intensity.
right. Okay. Number 6, nutrition.
That's a big one.
Yep. And, we've said this before, we say it repeatedly, you cannot outtrain a bad diet. Okay?
Food is your fuel, so what are you putting in the gas tank?
Right? So just because you take creatine does not mean you can back off on your nutrition plan or not take it seriously. I can eat whatever I want because I work out and take creatine. Well, guess what?
You can't.
You can't. Right?
Well, if you want to see change and progress, you can't.
Yeah. And, I had a brief chat with somebody at the gym the other day. He's in his 30s now, and he said, when I was in my 20s, I could eat pizza all the time, and there's no problem. He said, I hit 30. He said, just like that, I'm like, I got to be on this thing now. So same, right? You want to make sure as we age that our nutrition is on track because, again, this is about a healthy lifestyle, right? So, okay, and number 7, this one's a good one, is storage. And you might be like, storage? What are you talking about? Well, here's the thing about creatine. Creatine is affected by light, moisture, and heat. Okay, so what does that mean? It means you need to store your creatine in a dry, not necessarily dark, but that's why the creatine containers are always not see-through.
Right.
Right? And temperature would be like room temperature.
Room temperature. Don't stick it in a cupboard that's like over lights or over the microwave or something where it's going to generate heat.
Right? Or even right next, I just noticed as I was prepping for this, I was like, hey, wait a minute.
Where's mine?
Where's my creatine? It's next to the stove because I want it close to where I get all my protein powder and stuff. So it's next to the stove. I'm like, well, I'm moving that.
Yeah, it's a little too warm.
Right?
Yeah.
So those are some mistakes that you can avoid so that you can get the most out of your creatine when it comes to muscle building. So I want to thank you for joining us again. And if you haven't, please take a minute, subscribe to the channel and give us a like. And, the other thing too is we would love to hear about your experience with creatine and how it's helped you with your training. Or maybe for some people, I know somebody, she said, it just didn't work for me. Or somebody said, I had a bloating issue, and I don't know how much they took. That bloating can come from taking too much.
Can come from loading, yeah.
Yeah. So, but put it in the comments. What about you and your creatine?
Experience
Yeah,
with it?
or
Exactly.
maybe you say, I don't use creatine, I use this instead. We'd love to hear that too. We appreciate the feedback and the conversation. So thank you all for joining us. See you next time.
Yeah.